how do I want to start this, I guess? I don't really know how I want to start this video. I'm not sure that I really want to make this video still. It's a little scary for me to make, I'm not gonna lie. I know that the videos I've been putting out on my channel recently have been very like health focused, I guess, but health is a big part of my life because I live with an autoimmune disease, or potentially multiple. We're not sure yet. A lot of people close to me, my friends and family, know that I'm sick, but they don't really know what exactly is going on because, quite honestly, I'm still not quite sure what's going on, and we'll get into that. But I don't feel like this gets talked about very much, and I want to bring light to the situation of living with chronic pain. What I have is invisible, and I feel like invisible illness is something that is often looked over or just not really understood. And so if I can help you understand a little bit of what my situation is, then that would be great. So let's start at the beginning of it all. March 2018 is when it hit me like a truck. So in August of 2017, my husband and I moved from Arizona to Idaho. No secret, I've talked about this a lot on my channel. Fast forward a few months and our living situation changed and we ended up purchasing this house. There was a lot of stress happening at that time and a lot of change. I was in school, we had to get this place last minute, and I decided to put all of my energy into my fitness. So I was actually in probably the best shape of my life at the beginning of 2018. I was tracking my macros and calories for bodybuilding. I was weightlifting at the gym 5 days a week. I also worked at the gym, so I was surrounded by people of that culture and was able to learn a lot actually and gain a lot of knowledge that I still apply to my health today. But I was going really hard to try and forget all of my life stuff. Then in March, I believe like the first or second week-ish of March, I did a back and bicep workout, ate my food like normal, went to bed, and the next morning I couldn't move at all. And it wasn't muscle soreness because after working out for a few months that hard, I had grown very accustomed to what muscle soreness feels like if you go really hard at the gym. And this was not the same thing. My hands locked up like this and I couldn't open them or close them. I couldn't stand. My jaw was locked shut. I couldn't lift my shoulders up to put on a shirt. I didn't have the strength in my fingers and my wrists and my shoulders as well to grab socks and put socks on. If it was a joint, it was in pain and very stiff and very swollen. I took that as, okay, I went too hard at the gym. You know, the jaw thing and the hand thing is weird, but you know, maybe I just am getting sick, like with a cold or something because I went too hard at the gym and I haven't given myself time to rest. With that mindset, I backed off going to the gym. I stopped completely to let my body really rest because I was in a lot of pain and thought that my body needed to rest. Fast forward to July of the same year, and this has not subsided. I still wake up every day in immense amounts of pain everywhere, and it lasts throughout the day most of the time. Sometimes it goes away by the afternoon, but generally speaking, this has become my new normal, and I'm in pain all the time. It finally got to a point where I was convinced more than I decided, because I don't like going to the doctors. I don't have a very good experience with doctors, and I also never really got sick, and never happened. Even as a kid, I was the healthiest child and teenager and young adult in college. So after a lot of convincing from Nick and my family, I went to go see a doctor, found a physician here in my town, and he immediately was very concerned. His brain immediately went to autoimmune disease, and he especially was concerned about lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, and potentially some kind of infection, just in case it wasn't that. But I got blood work done. My blood tests came back extremely positive. The specific test that came back is called an ANA, which stands for anti-nuclear antibody. I'm not a medical professional. I don't know exactly what that stands for or what it even is looking at, but I just know that they did a series of ANA tests on me, as well as rheumatoid factor tests and a bunch of other shit, and they all came back positive. So I have an autoimmune disease according to my blood. From there, he put me on a steroid called prednisone, which I only took for 2 days because prednisone has very intense side effects when it comes to your mood swings, and that hit me hard. I was a crying, blubbering mess the first day, and a raging bull the next day. I was ready to fight somebody and put a hole in a wall. Not exactly my vibe. So I stopped taking it, which he was aware of, but he did want me to go see a specialist. So he referred me to somebody in a town next door that I did go and see in October of that year. Hello? Is this thing on? We're in the car now. That doctor that I found is super cool. He is now my family physician and he's fantastic. He referred me to a specialist near my hometown, a rheumatologist. So I went and saw him in October, got more blood tests done, got a urine test done, and got an ultrasound done on my wrists. And that rheumatologist, that specialist, is the one that officially diagnosed me with rheumatoid arthritis in October of 2019. However, I did not click with that specialist, and so I stopped going to him. The treatment plan that he recommended or wanted to put me on, one, couldn't afford because it's astronomically expensive. It's ridiculous. And because I didn't really click with that doctor, I just didn't really want to go back. I didn't want to have to deal with them. And so, brings us to our little road trip that we are on a year later. My family physician referred me to a new specialist who we are on our way to see. Fingers crossed that I click with this one, or that they're at least nice and pleasant to be around, because if I have to be seeing a specialist fairly regularly for my health stuffs, I want to at least enjoy being in their presence. So we're going right now to see them, and I will let you guys know how it went when we get out, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, let's go to the doctor. I'm alive. We made it. We did it. This is Sailor's Vlog, day 107. I got stuck like a pig a couple times, but we're still out here surviving. We made it out. We're fine. Hi. How you feel? You probably feel great. I got like 20 vials of blood drawn from a vein to test a bunch of stuff. It went great. She is awesome, the new specialist. She's fantastic. She's super thorough and listened to everything I had to say. She wanted to know everything. She was a complete 180 from my last experience with a rheumatologist, and it was very pleasant. It was awesome. So we got a physical exam got done. She asked all about my history and questions, which was refreshing. The last specialist didn't do a physical exam or ask me really anything. He just took an ultrasound and kind of said, yeah, looks like you've got rheumatoid because there's inflammation in your joints. And I was like, well, you know, yeah, I mean, that's kind of why I'm here to see you, is because I'm inflamed and in pain. That's why I'm here. My bag dropped. Anyway, then she called for a lot of different tests, and yeah, I'll see you guys back in the room actually, because my arm's getting tired from from holding this. I forgot my tripod, and I don't think I have the strength to hold it for the next 15 minutes. So let's get back in the room really quick with the magic of editing. Bye. Bye. Yeah, I said say words.
Bye, words.
There we go, words. Okay, we're home. That was a long day, but we made it. We made it safely back. So let's go over what she said. So we got stuck like a pig. We got some vaccinations, which I'll talk about why in a second. And then we got an x-ray, and then we got a order for a abdominal ultrasound specifically for my liver, which we'll get to, and we got some medication. Let's start with this. So I wasn't joking when I said that they took 20 vials of blood. That's extremely accurate. We counted. There were 20. It's a lot of blood. She came in with a bowl, like a basin full of vials, and said, "Don't worry, I promise you're not gonna die from loss of blood." I am not bothered by needles or getting my blood drawn at all, clearly. So it was actually totally fine. She did a great job. I've been stuck a few times now for multiple blood tests, and she was the most gentle. Didn't feel a thing. The reason that they wanted to take so much is the new specialist that I have. She is, again, concerned about lupus. So she said that it looks like lupus is actually probably what I'm dealing with now. Whether it's lupus and rheumatoid arthritis kind of mixing together, or if it's just lupus manifesting itself to behave like rheumatoid arthritis, we're not exactly sure yet. So she took a lot of tests specifically to try and see which one it is, what comes back. She does her doctor thing, she tells me the results. The other thing that has been going on since the beginning, since I went and got my family physician, my original specialist noticed it as well, and then she did too, is that my liver seems to have something wrong with it. Every time I get a blood test done, my liver levels come back higher than normal, indicating inflammation or something is not quite right. So here's where the problem lies. The medication that is given for lupus or rheumatoid arthritis, basically immunosuppressants, a few of them are filtered through the liver. She can't confidently put me on an exact treatment plan for whatever's going on with me until we figure out what's going on with the liver so that we don't risk damaging it any further. So that was a lot of why I got 20 vials of blood drawn, because she's doing a full screening, a full blood panel on my liver, from everything from infections to autoimmune disorders to common things to maybe it's just extra iron, we don't know, but we need to find out what's going on with that first before we can proceed with treating this more aggressively, I guess, or just getting a more established treatment plan for my immune stuff. So that's what the ultrasound is for as well. She wants me to go get that ultrasound done to specifically look at my liver, just to have all bases cleared. The x-ray she took of my hands to have a baseline to look at, because rheumatoid arthritis does tend to affect the hands the most. It affects your knuckles and the way that your hands kind of bend. You can look up pictures on Google of what it does. So she wanted to get a baseline of how my hands sit and how my bones are laid out, so that if they start to change, we have something to look at. I'm trying to think of what else we did. It was a long day, guys. We were there for a long time. What else did she say? Oh yeah, so the medication that I'm on, when I got the flare-up before Christmas that I've talked about a couple times on my channel, if you want to get caught up on the flare-up that happened to me before Christmas, you can go watch my 2020 goals video. Or my makeup therapy video. I touch on it a little bit in both those videos. Anyway, that last flare-up affected me in such new ways that I thought I was going to die. I'm kidding, I didn't think I was gonna die, but I was very sick. And so I got put on antibiotics. I got put on amoxicillin for about 10 days, and then I got put on prednisone for 14 days. I got put on a pretty high dosage of it for quite a long time. It's a steroid, so you're not really supposed to be on it super long. It does have very adverse side effects, which I have experienced before when I first got on it. That first round didn't help completely. He actually gave me another round of prednisone for another 14 days that I am still currently taking, and it has kept those symptoms at bay from this last flare-up. She put me on a lower dosage of prednisone to wean myself off of it so that my body doesn't go into shock. Prednisone is basically a synthetic cortisol, which your body naturally produces cortisol, but when you're on prednisone for an extended period of time, like a month, your body slows down production of natural cortisol. So if I were to kick the prednisone cold turkey, especially at the high dosage that I have, I risk sending my body into kind of like a shock, or it could re-flare up again, and we don't want that. So we're going to wean myself off of it the next few weeks and then start my new medication. The new medication that she's going to put me on is called Plaquenil. It is very popular for lupus and a few other autoimmune diseases, I believe, but it's most popular for lupus. And it's a safe one. It's not going to affect my liver intensely. I can take it without worrying about damaging my liver any further until I go see her again in 4 weeks to get my blood test results and go over a potential treatment plan, maybe get a new medication depending on what the blood says about my liver. There is a possibility that I will have to get a pathologist for my liver, so a specialist for my liver, depending on what the blood says. Also, I got 2 vaccines today. Got your basic flu shot and a pneumonia vaccine. Reason being, the medications that I am on are immunosuppressants. Basically, they kind of shut down your immune system, and my immune system is already compromised anyway, so I am at a higher risk of getting sick, especially on these medications. So these are just precautionary, because I don't remember the last time I got a vaccine. I was probably in like 6th grade, 5th grade. So use protection. So that is my story so far. That's how it started. That's the path I took up until this point, and I 100% plan on continuing to film the process of me finding out what is going on. I feel like when it comes to healthcare and what people are taking, or what treatment plans they're on, or even just the process of being diagnosed with something, it doesn't get talked about a lot, and I want to talk about it because it's a big part of my life. It has definitely changed my life. Some days I'm not sure if for better or worse. So as I get updates on my health and my treatment plan and what works and what doesn't and all of that, I will be bringing you guys along for the ride, this health journey of mine, to hopefully get to a place where I can live a pretty normal life with this thing, whatever it is. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I try to put new content out at least once a week. If you guys have any ideas for filming or stuff that you want me to do or talk about or make up, or any ideas you have, just leave them in the comments below and I will add it to my little tiny list. I love you guys. Stay cool, stay badass, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!